Jess, what is our first main topic today?
This comes from Alan Renshaw. I just heard the tragic news of the passing of Ivan Reitman. I love the original Ghostbusters, and I loved his work. What are some of your favorite works of his and your thoughts on his passing?
Yeah, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And I was really saddened yesterday when I saw the news. I saw somebody write that into me on something, and I thought it was a joke. And I went and checked it out, and it's true. Ivan Reitman, iconic filmmaker, passed away. You know, it's funny. Me and Aaron were at CinemaCon a few months ago, and Ivan Reitman was there. Came out on stage with his son, Jason Reitman, to talk about the new Ghostbusters film, and he looked great. He looked like energetic and whatever. And so when I heard this news, I was incredibly saddened to hear about it. I want to hear what everybody else has to say about the passing of Ivan Reitman, but I will say this. Obviously, he will probably go down most remembered for Ghostbusters. And rightfully so. I mean, that thing is an iconic, you know, culture kind of defining sort of film. Everybody knows and loves the Ghostbusters. But whether you're talking about things like Stripes or being behind a film like Animal House or what have you, all big and iconic things. But when I think of Ivan Reitman, you guys have heard me talk about this one movie that is very special to me, that I just find so fun and so charming and so wonderful. And it's one that not a ton of people saw. But he did a movie with Sigourney Weaver and Kevin Kline called Dave.
I love this movie so much.
I love Dave. For those of you who don't know the basic principle of Dave, Kevin Kline plays a guy named Dave who just happens, coincidentally, look completely identical to the President of the United States. And when the President of the United States has a health issue, brought on by an embarrassing situation, and he's incapacitated, the government goes and gets this Dave guy to stand in for the president so people don't panic or anything like that, right? He even for a little while fools the First Lady, played by Sigourney Weaver. And this guy fixes all the mistakes in the United States of America. Listen, is it kind of ridiculous? Yes. But that is a movie that has given me so much joy. And of course, when you look at Animal House, Stripes, all the other stuff that he's done, for sure. But that's a movie to me that I think about and it just makes me smile. And it just gave me an awful lot of joy. His son, Jason Reitman, has gone on to become one of my favorite directors in the world. Jason Reitman is just so incredibly talented, whether you're talking about, you know, Juno, or you're talking about Thank You for Smoking, or, I mean, he's just up in the air. Jason, his son turned out to be a world-class director in and of himself. I met Jason Reitman when he and I ended up sitting beside each other at a mutual friend's wedding. It was my first time I got to meet him. But anyway, Ivan Reitman passes away at the age of 75. Very, very sad to hear. I think he still had a lot of great years. I mean, the dude was only 75. I mean, that, by today's standards, I mean, that's still fairly young. He still had many good years in him to still deliver more films to us on different levels as a producer and whatnot. And I think it's sad to hear. Anyway, Rob, I know you were a fan of Ivan Reitman. Your thoughts on the passing of Reitman, and what do you think of first when you think about his career?
Well, I have to say, I go all the way back to Meatballs, and you brought up Stripes.
Oh, Meatballs, yes.
You know, and are you ready for the summer? You know, I loved Meatballs, but I think my favorite Ivan Reitman movie, I think Dave is great, but I love Stripes. You know, those early.
That's the fact check.
It's lighten up, Francis. You know, you have war notes, but it was the first time Bill Murray and Harold Ramis were on screen together, on screen together, and PJ Souls and Sean Young are in it as their love interests, and the ultra cool RV, the battle RV that they. But it's just there. What I loved about Stripes was, there was something about the situational humor. Sure, people think about Animal House. I'm a zit, get it? But there's a lot of smart humor in that movie. And there was a lot of smart humor in Stripes. And the situation that Ramis and Murray found themselves in, they were both kind of like these schlep rock dudes, but they weren't stupid. They were kind of like early versions of the Dude from Jeff Bridges, the Dude. They were like, Bill Murray was the Dude before Jeff Bridges was the Dude. and I love that. And they find themselves in the army. I watched Stripes 100 times. And I just loved Ivan Reitman's sense of humor. And then, of course, Ghostbusters was combine that with full-blown 65 millimeter Richard Edlund special effects. And even Ghostbusters has a situational type humor where it all comes out of character. And he was really good at that. Reitman was really good at that. Even when he made like a movie that I didn't love, like Legal Eagles with
Oh,
Deborah
I remember
Winger.
that. Yes.
It wasn't great, but I still liked it. You know, I was always entertained by Ivan Reitman's movies. And he's, in terms of the Canadian film industry in the 70s, he was responsible for getting a lot of other Canadian filmmakers launched. So he has a great legacy of work. And I don't think anyone's ever said a bad word about the man.
Anyway, you know, Chris, you hear about him. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about the career and everything of Ivan Reitman?
I mean, definitely Ghostbusters. I had a proton pack as a kid that I ran around with. I loved that movie so much. I still do the cats and dogs living together quote constantly. I think it's brilliant. But Dave is such a beautiful movie that I'm so excited you talked about because it's so great. The relationship that Kevin Kline and Ving Rhames have in that movie is so sweet. I love it so much. That moment where he's like, Dave, I would have taken a bullet for you. Like, oh, what? In this goofy little comedy, there's so much love. But I mean, he was just such an incredible director, a brilliant producer too. He produced so much great stuff, and it was just so heartbreaking to see his son's statements too about everything because he was saying how he lost his hero, and I feel like a lot of people feel the same way.
Anyway, guys, incredible, iconic filmmaker Ivan Reitman passes away at the age of 75. What do you guys think of when you think about his incredible career? What movies or moments that he's given you that have brought joy into your life are the ones that you think about today? Jump on down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank a sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. So guys, look, my wife Ann and I were both working professionals, so we know how tricky, difficult, and time-consuming it can be to try to eat properly and prepare your own meals at home. And that's why, like over a year ago, we started using HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. I mean, you skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and probably most importantly, affordable. HelloFresh offers the flexibility you need to easily customize your orders online or right in the app. Easily change your delivery day, food preferences, and plan size, or skip a week whenever you need to. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the exact same quality, and you can save on average over $65 a month when you order HelloFresh instead of going grocery shopping. So guys, I'm telling you, whether you are single or have a family, you are going to love HelloFresh. So go to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the promo code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's again, HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use that promo code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.